and welcome back to a new Info Sunday. Today I'm going to talk about intermittent fasting. What is it? Intermittent fasting, as the name already says, is a switch from fasting for a specific time and then eating. So the most common form of intermittent fasting is the 16-8 approach. This means that you are fasting for 16 hours, which is mostly overnight, and you are eating for 8 hours. And different approaches would be the 24 hours fast. This would be done in a schedule like 1 or 2 days in a week, which are not in a row. You would be fasting the whole day, like 24 hours, and the rest of the week you can eat regularly. A third approach, which is also quite common, is similar to the 24-hour approach. So this means that on 2 days, which are again not consecutive, so not Monday, Tuesday, but maybe Tuesday, Friday or whatever, you are eating only 500 to 600 calories, and the rest of the week you're eating regularly. Why is intermittent fasting done? So there are two main reasons. Number one reason is weight reduction and fat loss. Why is this? This is quite simple, because if you're only allowed to eat, let's say for 8 hours a day, it is easier to consume less calories, because in these 8 hours to get all these, I don't know, for me it would be 1,800 calories in, it's like more or less eating all the time and you feel full. So it's easier to just stay in a slight caloric deficit if you're only allowed to eat for 8 hours. What else? On a cellular level, it has been shown that quite some hormones are influenced by intermittent fasting, and this can even contribute to fat loss. For example, human growth hormone is induced. This helps fat loss and muscle gain. Whereas insulin sensitivity is increased, so this means insulin levels, they drop, and you can better control your blood sugar levels. It's also quite healthy for your brain, because brain-derived neurotrophic factor is increased. This leads to the new development of nerves and neurons in your brain. And it has also been shown that intermittent fasting is preventive for, let's say, Alzheimer's disease or Parkinson's and other brain degenerative diseases. By all these factors, also overall health, like cardiovascular health or risk for cancer development, everything is decreased. And this is mainly due to an effect called autophagy. And this means if your body is in this fasting state, it starts to clean up everything. It starts to scan your whole body if there is some parts or particles or whatever that you are not needing or is even harmful, and it gets rid of them. So this is called autophagy, and it's also been linked to anti-aging and longevity and all this stuff. Also generally inflammatory markers are lowering, and this again is very beneficial for a lot of diseases, like I also covered and touched slightly in my previous videos. Importantly, there are some groups of people who might not benefit, or where intermittent fasting might even be harmful. It's a small group of people, but nevertheless I want to touch this. So if you have a history of eating disorders, or if you are already underweight, intermittent fasting is, I guess, not the way for you, because it's easy to go back into old bad habits with the eating disorders if you restrict yourself on eating habits. Also, if you are taking a lot of medications or already have a severe medical condition like diabetes or some heart diseases, you might consider your doctor before trying intermittent fasting. And one group of people who have also to be a little bit more careful with intermittent fasting is women. There's actually not a lot of studies on women specifically with intermittent fasting, but overall you can say that the hormonal balance in women is very delicate, and by fasting you interfere with this balance. So this might lead to some targets or like side effects, you can call them. So for example, if you're pregnant or if you are breastfeeding, intermittent fasting might not be very good for you. Also similarly, if you want to conceive, you might not try intermittent fasting, because again it's just an interruption of this tightly regulated hormonal balance. Yeah, that's it. Otherwise, if you have some questions about intermittent fasting, and you're not sure how to get started or if it might be for you, just write me, ask me. I'm not a doctor, but I can give you some advice. I hope this was interesting for you, and I wish you a nice Sunday.